With the 9th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Rui Hachimura from Toyama, Japan, and Gonzaga University.
皆さんやりました。日本人初 NBA です。
Rui Hachimura made history long before he stepped foot onto an NBA court. His entry into the league put basketball at the forefront of a country long known for baseball, propelling him into the international spotlight overnight.
A lot of media is following me, almost every day, but that's how it is. That's what I have to do, like all the people in Japan watching, like when like a little kids, and then they're watching and they inspire and stuff. So yeah, I think it's good stuff.
The attention, it was eye-opening in one way, but I think when we look at it now, he has the entire country of Japan on his shoulders. He's got a lot of people paying attention to him, and I don't think we think about that enough on a day-to-day basis of how much is on him, but I don't think he looks at it as pressure. I think he looks at it as a great opportunity.
When we hosted his press conference here in Washington, D.C., the amount of Japanese media that covered him, it was over 100 media members, and the NBA is certainly a global sport, and it's probably well represented in many countries around the world. We didn't spend a ton of time going into the draft planning on what it was going to be like, the response in Japan. But I think when we saw the coverage there, we knew very quickly that, it's an opportunity for the sport of basketball to grow dramatically in the country of Japan.
And it has. Subscriptions for the league's NBA Rakuten streaming service has jumped 30% this season. Hachimura's jerseys become a top seller at the league's Japan store. Away from the court, his brand has been used to promote banks, 5G technology, and yes, even cup noodles.
So I think it's great for the NBA. I think it's great for Japan. I think with any country, you need your culture, you need your fans to identify with the particular athlete. And if identification is there, you're going to see respective numbers in terms of an uptick in consumption. Any type of identification levels that any fan can see, whether it's black, white, Asian, male, female, identification goes a long way in kind of seeing yourself as part of the game and therefore linking yourself with consumption habits.
We want more! Yay!
The league's growth here comes as it faces challenges in its biggest international market, China. Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey caused an uproar last year when he tweeted his support for the Hong Kong protests going against Beijing's stance.
跟中方开展交流与合作，却不了解中国的民意。
That prompted a temporary blackout of NBA games.
It's my hope that when I'm in Shanghai, I can meet with the appropriate officials and discuss where we stand.
Chinese sponsors cut ties. That backlash elevated the significance of the Japanese market for now.
Because of some of the political uncertainties that come from operating in a market like China, does that maybe change your focus to a place like Japan and the opportunities? The size may be different. There's certainly a very lucrative market. Does your international priorities shift up as a result?
Well, I think we're always focused on growing the game of basketball around the world, and Japan has become a very important market for us.
It's been a long road to get here. Until now, international NBA players have largely come from Europe, Africa, even China. Yao Ming expanded basketball's reach in a big way when the Houston Rockets drafted him 18 years ago. But Japan, a country that's consistently touted promising baseball and soccer players, has relatively stayed off the global basketball radar. Rui isn't the first Japanese player to make it to the league. Yuta Watanabe joined the Memphis Grizzlies in 2018. Point guard Yuta Tabuse made the Phoenix Suns' opening day roster in 2004. Then there's Wataru Misaka, the true trailblazer. The Ogden, Utah native played just 3 games for the New York Knicks in 1947. None of them got the kind of media fanfare Rui has. Many Japanese were only exposed to basketball through manga and Takehiko Inoue's Slam Dunk series. The cult classic followed a teenage outsider who joined his basketball team to impress a high school crush, only to find his real passion in the game.
Obviously, Slam Dunk, it's a legend, it's a masterpiece. I mean, obviously, after Slam Dunk, they're really popular. You know, not just published, they became an anime too. I know that my classmates, when I was back in time, I don't know, middle school, high school, the boys started joining a basketball, club too, just because Slam Dunk was really popular and everybody wanted to be like those characters. And they started joining a team. And they thought they could be like a main character in a Slam Dunk. In Japan, manga is a part of culture. Sports manga itself, it's a really big market. Everybody reads. Even like my parents read, my brother.
The comic didn't just inspire a generation of manga writers like Misako Rocks, but basketball players. Slam Dunk was so influential, its publisher started a scholarship to send Japanese high school basketball players to study in the U.S.
Slam Dunk was like the genesis of allowing basketball to become part of popular culture. And so it's not necessarily what made basketball become popular, but it is something that kind of ingrained basketball as to be okay within the Japanese culture, especially within the youth who are now adults today.
Including Rui, even though he was born 2 years after the series ended. Rui didn't begin playing until he was 13. He admits the learning curve was steep, going from the high school game in Japan to college play at Gonzaga.
I didn't speak any English, and I had to learn English first couple years, in the college, and especially like this high level, compared to Japan basketball, it's a whole nother different level, So it was hard to adjust.
Smith along the baseline leaves it off for Hachimura.
In just 4 years here, Rui has accomplished more than any other Japanese basketball player, starting for a Division 1A program, competing in the NCAA tournament. He was selected for the Rising Stars Challenge at the NBA All-Star Game. His rise has coincided with the rise of basketball back home. In 2016, Japan established its own professional basketball league, or B-League, elevating the game's exposure there.
I think with all this, I think with Japan's interest in basketball, I think it's a long-term game. And it starts with participation. And if the participation gets there, then you will see respective interest towards leagues such as the NBA, such as the B-League that exists already in Japan. So if Hachimura happens to become a bust, for example, I think that's okay because it's just your first step. And it allows you to at least familiarize your audience with the league in the first place.
Hachimura just muscles his way over the top.
The Wizards are aggressively moving to expand their reach, launching online media content in Japanese, establishing a Twitter account catering to Japanese fans. Rui may not have set out to become the face of basketball in Japan, but he's quickly adapting to his role as the game's ambassador, helping the NBA turn a country with less than 100 outdoor basketball courts into a lucrative international market.
We want to be the team for Japan. We want to be somebody that everybody supports in that country. Certainly it starts with him. None of that was in the plans when we drafted Rui. We just wanted to draft a player that we really felt was going to be a fantastic piece for us. I think that moment when you walk out on the floor for the first time in an NBA game is special. And for a kid from Japan, that's not really where there's a lot of NBA players. So I think it was probably even that much more important and meaningful to him.